think that what we will do is come back and test the red-yellow line from the underside. It's going to be one of the prerogatives of the morning. Also, there could be a blue line that's drawn in here as well, which is another line that we could have an interest in testing, which isn't difficult to test, but with the ATR being so high, taking trades back to small levels like that, it doesn't pay so bad. But I know that we will see the underside of that blue line, so it could literally be the high of where we test the 188 again. So we want to maybe get everyone round up at the 188-200 and then chop them a little bit before we get to the yellow line, because the yellow line is the trend still. Like, I don't think that this is an irrelevant level. Now, it's not the same as your ordinary red-yellow line, but it does have some importance to it. It's worth taking note of. The actual line that is the trend until we break it on this screen is this level. And without breaking that first one, we will never get to that one. So we have to understand that it is in the way, whether we like it or not. So we have to make sure that we're aware of it. Now, like I said, trading back to the blue line is the first short-term prerogative. That's the blue line right there. You know that it's over 17-point ATR, so that move is 30 points, and more now. And at the end of the day, this is the point where the market expects you to pay yourself. If you're not paid and secured by this point for another test of the 188-200, then you don't really have exposure, because you're not really safe and you're not really exposed in a way the market respects. So it's good to make sure that you take something of the 30 points, and if the rest goes to zero, then you've been paid something, and you don't have to fret as much about it. You don't have to be as emotional about it. You know you'll have exposure, and you know you've been paid. What more do you want? And if you have to try again, we'll try to make that situation again. Try to make it so that you understand the next short-term pullback and its necessity. Can you handle a pullback down to the extreme again? Maybe it just does a 61. We have to break the blue line to get through this line. This is an old red-yellow line, which I mentioned I think we're going to get back to. Once we get back to it, the institutions will see if the ordinary people want to try and get us through it. Okay, and every single person that buys beyond that line could easily be part of the next retest. I don't care how big it is. And that's the funny part about that. Because they're late. Anybody that buys after the trend break, anybody that didn't see value in the 188-200, anybody that didn't take profit on the blue line and expect a pullback to the 188-200 is not doing it right. Because I'm like, what else do you want? Like, what else do you want to see that makes you more compelled to be part of something so clear? I mean, it's like digging into 2 + 2 = 4. There's one right way to see it, and it's to allow the pullback to the 188-200, to understand the blue line has to break to get us back to the red-yellow. The institutions bought us up to this point, and now they're waiting for the people to do something. A lot of people seem to be bogging down the moves after we break the trend. So when we break the trend, like, you can tell it's not like they carried the trend break through. They bought it up to the line I mentioned and stopped and waited for people. And people are doing nothing, and I can see that. It's very clear. And they bought it up because it was the best thing to do, and I could see it before they did it. And that's the funny part about it. Just like you're supposed to if you know what you're doing. Look at them breaking the red-yellow line like nobody's business. Because there's a way to look at it as the institutions do, and then there's a way to be confused like the people are. And I can see that very clearly. But anyways, we've gotten through the dreaded range. Like I said, the consolidation is coming to an end, and all of the people that shorted against it are kind of in a tough spot. Yet, I want to point out that we did come back to this range very quickly and sharply, right? We went boom all the way up to the red-yellow line, and everyone that bought after it has been getting a little bit of a shit end of the stick, right? Like, they've been buying into the choppy, buying into the middle. How does the market treat them? And is it the paddle pattern? Is it going to just swiftly wipe out all of their hard work and leave the people that were in before the trend break? I mean, these people got it pretty easy because they didn't come back on them, but what do these people get? They're at the dreaded POC. And, I mean, I'm just going to point out there that literally everybody that did buy into the chop was taken back by, like, one little swift move that just kind of, like, overlapped everyone from that choppy bit. That's like the paddle pattern, is doing what it should be doing, as far as I'm concerned, because the people that are in there had the wrong idea, because the market gave them nothing. Nothing to be jealous about, eh? For these people. I mean, unless you're looking at that, but I'm like, they've got you thinking about the wrong direction then. And that's what they want, because if they get everyone safe and short, but not offer them a bunch of money, then they can knock them all out at once. And anybody that tries to go long just keeps getting knocked out. Keeps, I don't want to do that anymore. You can see them saying, right? You could say, oh, it's too tough for me. You could see them saying, it takes too long, takes too many tries, takes too much time, takes too much management, takes too much analysis. Well, that's the impact that they are having on most people, is that it does have those things. It does take all that time, it does take all those tries, it does take all that and everything, just like an 11 low zone. Why do I call it an 11 low zone? Not because there's 11 lows, but because it feels like there is. You know, that's the idea.